And we're underway here in New York City. This is Ultiworld's coverage of the American Ultimate Disc League. That pole is going to land inbounds, and here come the Breeze up the field. The Empire starting on D, and we'll get a good look at these teams early and see what kind of defensive looks the Empire are showing.
Yeah, unlike what we've seen in recent games, the Empire coming out straight man, no double teams, no zone, but would expect that to change over time.
We have a hook deep to the end zone. Defense in the area, and a big play right off the bat. Nice play there from the Empire.
Yeah, definitely not the throw that the Breeze was looking for.
A little bit too floaty there, and here's Luong with the disc.
Last week we saw the defense pretty much carry all of the progress and momentum for the Empire. So they're going to want to come out strong and see if they can continue to build on that.
And he makes the play. That's number 7, Taylor Brooks, with a nice layout to save the possession for the Empire. And they punch it in, and that's a quick score for the Empire. Early break. It's 1-0 here in New York.
Score from Taylor Brooks to Allen Brown.
Taylor Brooks finds Alone Brown in the end zone there for the Empire. And just the way the things wanted to get started here for New York.
Yeah, definitely. The defense, like I said, built a lot of momentum. They looked really strong last week despite the blowout loss to the Rush. They were really, in a lot of ways, the only positive takeaway for the team last week. They, put the team on their back. They were the only reason the game was close for the majority of it. And they've come out, started the game strong, and now they get to go play until they get scored on.
The Rush went on back-to-back road trips and came away 4-0. And they get a little homestand starting this weekend. And we were wondering earlier this week on Ultiworld, are the Rush going to be able to go through the regular season undefeated?
Right. It certainly looks possible. There aren't really a lot of teams with the chemistry or talent level to compete with them on a consistent basis. We were talking about how the Breeze losing their coach could set them back. The Rush entered the season as basically a team that's played together before. So every limitation that losing a coach had for the Breeze, the Rush already had as an advantage by having that team together.
Breeze on offense. That was Glenn Poole who just threw it here to the sideline. That's Justin Sellis. And that's an errant throw there in the middle. Luong knocks that easily to the ground.
Miscommunication. Receiver wasn't even looking at the disc.
Wong picks it up. Flips to the open side here on the sideline. Number 28 looking deep to Izzy Bryant, but an easy D there for Daniel Selwyn from the Breeze. Tried to force it in up the line and wasn't really ever open.
Yeah, that's just a high stall count throw, trying to get something going. Clearly wasn't comfortable with the disc down on the sideline.
Bright sunny day here in Manhattan. It's 1-0. The Empire lead the Breeze. Early break. Disc in the middle of the field. That's number 9. Jonathan Kwan with a disc. Back to the middle. That's Glenn Poole with it, captain of the Breeze, also a writer for Ultiworld.
Empire defense is looking strong to start the game. The Breeze doing a good job moving side to side, but they're going to have to move the disc down the field if they're going to score.
Kwan with it, puts it deep, but not really a receiver in the area, but yep, that's a D there. Little easy layout D for the Empire. They'll get another chance here to take a 2-0 lead and really get things going in the right way.
Yeah, as we've seen in the last couple of weeks, this is definitely, the AUDL game really translates to a lot of streaks. Teams build momentum, put up a lot of points based on it.
Miscommunication there. Izzy Bryant throws right into the defense. I think his cutter didn't find it. And the Breeze looking to the end zone, can't connect.
For a team's offensive unit, they definitely want to take advantage of those giveaways, and that was a gift from the Empire to the Breeze, and you really have to capitalize on that.
We talked about it last week. Got to take those easy turnovers near your end zone and punch them in, and you just have to make the high percentage throw there. This is number 9, Sean Childers with it. This is his first game for the Empire. He's playing for NYU earlier this season, kept him out of the lineup, and a turf throw there, and sloppy game here to start.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. Now that the college season is winding down, there are going to be a lot of younger guys coming off their seasons, entering into these AUDL rosters. You know, you can look for them to certainly make an impact because they'll be in game shape and really, you know, ready to go.
Selwyn fakes the hammer, swings it into the middle. That's number 27, Matthew Ratty. And there's a huck into the end zone, but 2 defenders underneath it. And it's, again, a pretty easy D for the Empire.
Yeah, so far the Breeze has been taking some pretty low percentage shots at the end zone on their 2 points so far.
Lack of patience could show the impact of the coach just not being on the field with them early, and having things be a little bit out of place at the beginning of the season. Empire looking to get on track here on the D-line, and we already see some offensive substitutions as they look to go punch this in. Jack Marsh is in his last game at home here for a while for the Empire. He's about to travel to St. Louis to join a circus.
Yeah, in a way. I think that he's going to be doing more production on it, but we talked to him before the game. He has a background growing up in circus performing, juggling and tumbling. So he'll be spending a couple months putting the show together.
There's a deep shot from Hussein Carnegie to a wide open Marsh. Marsh just outside the end zone. Swings it over to Joe Santussis. And Goose scores that one easily. It's 2-0, and you can see those offensive substitutions, Carnegie and Goose there, and Marsh making an immediate impact for the Empire.
Yeah, the Empire couldn't have asked for a better start to the game. Their defense has come out and played strong. They've forced the Breeze into taking low percentage shots, made Ds when they had to, and most importantly, they've punched in 2 breaks to start the game.
With a 2-0 lead, the New York Empire with some early momentum against the DC Breeze. And really this is a game that the Empire need to win. To be considered a team in contention for the playoffs, you've got to take down what's many consider to be one of the bottom 2 or maybe even the bottom team in the league.
Yeah, definitely a must-win game, especially coming off of the pretty disappointing loss last week. And for them, about to go on the road for the next couple of weeks, they're certainly going to want to build some momentum and get a solid win behind them before they go on a bit of a road trip.
Yeah, that's right. The Empire won't be back here at home in New York until the beginning of June. So they'll be on the road for 4 straight weekends. And pull off here. DC Breeze back on offense. This is Glenn Poole picking up the disc.
Empire come out in a zone look for the first time today.
Across the field there.
Playing a 3-man cup, trying to force some, of the lower percentage throws that we've already seen the Breeze prone to making.
And just mixing it up early, Coach Aaron Bell for the Empire already shown himself to be pretty looking to really test teams early in the game with different defensive looks.
Yeah, the Empire's zone looks, they come out in a few different ones, and they've been pretty effective all year, which is, a lot of people might find surprising because moving on to the wider fields, it was expected that zone wouldn't translate quite as well. But, what we're seeing is, with the presence of the legal double team and, the counted stalls, people are, the zones tend to be working.
Another score for the Empire, and it's 3-0 here in New York City. The offense hasn't even stepped on the field yet, Wes.
Yeah, I imagine a few of them might end up out there now. Usually they're not going to roll a D-line for that long. They keep scoring, but there's no reason to fix it if it's not broken. Probably get a chance to see a couple of the younger guys play soon enough. I know it's not quite the point in the game where you start thinking about putting in the subs, but the Empire's rolling right now, and they've already forced DC into taking a timeout. 2 timeouts really early in the game.
And that's right, the Breeze taking a timeout here. Brock is one of the superstars of the AUDL. Frankly, he's the leading goal scorer in 9.33 goals per game, and really came up out of nowhere in the Alley Cat system. He was not a known club player before, like many of the stars in the league. But we're back underway here in New York The Empire lead the Breeze 3-0, and we have a bit of a pull play, and they look up deep, but that's going to float. And the Breeze can't pick it up as two defenders get underneath it again, and that's what we've seen early here from the Breeze. Yeah,
the Breeze have been pretty quick to take looks, deep shots that aren't necessarily open. You know, with the wind, especially if they're moving against the wind, the disc floats even a little bit. You know, it's going to be a 50-50 shot between the receiver and the defender, and it's, you know, those aren't the odds that you want on an offensive unit that's supposed to score 95% of the time.
Good movement here from the Empire defensive line handlers. Izzy Bryant with it in the middle. Finds Lu Wong on the strike cut. Moving easily up the field. Not a lot of pressure from the DC Breeze. Alone Brown with a disc. And punches it into the end zone. Another score for the Empire, and it's 4-0 here in New York, and we're starting to see maybe what could be a blowout. We haven't seen much yet from the Breeze, Wes.
Yeah, they're, you know, just they're not passing the eye test right now. Nobody seems to really be running. You know, not to say that they're not trying, but they don't seem to be. You know, they don't have the energy that you need to come out and start a game. You know, on the right track, put up some points, but now they're in a deficit. They're going to need some energy and some big plays if they're going to even make this competitive.
We see some of the D-line starters getting some rest now that they've played 3 or 4 points straight. Bryant coming to the sideline. See some offensive players in there now, as we expected we might. Marsh set to pull. Carnegie out there. Seth Canetti. This looks like it might be the starting O-line for the Empire. And they're just trying to get their legs fresh. They've been, after warming up for almost 2 hours, they've been standing on the sideline here for about 20 minutes with little to do.
Let's go.
Yeah, you usually see the offensive unit get a shot if a team is able to put together a few breaks like the Empire have. You know, all of these guys are competent defenders.
Jake Burzoff-Cohen puts it deep. This one might actually finally connect, and a nice grab from Justin Solis and just outside the end zone. And this is where they've had trouble early in the game, but that's a score. The Breeze get their first referee signal. Yes, it's good. That was Liam Shramko, captain of the Breeze, with the score. It's 4-1 so far.
Absolutely. And you know what they're doing really well is keeping control and possessing the disc. They're not trying to make any fancy plays. They're not, you know, taking low percentage shots. They're making the easy play and moving the disc, you know, seemingly effortlessly.
Here's Carnegie with it on the sideline.
And, you know, it's worked for him so far.
And a drop there from CJ Ouellette.
Yeah, that's a coach's nightmare right there. 2 hands every time.
Joe DePaula, captain of Towson, just graduated. He has the disc here for the Breeze.
And the Empire's offensive unit has come out in their transition D with a bit of a double team, which has been pretty successful for them so far this year.
Danny Denon with the disc on the sideline. There's a stoppage.
There's a whistle in the field. Timeout, DC Breeze.
And the Breeze took a timeout. Must have been called from the sideline. Some Danny Denon with the disc, a little confused about what just happened, but looks like maybe they're going to try to set up play and get a break back here.
Yes.
Getting set here as the disc gets back into play. Selwyn with it. Selwyn, a standout player on the Medicine Men, a team out of Baltimore and Washington, D.C., a club team. And he plays for the Breeze along with many of his Medicine Men teammates.
It's interesting to see that Coach Bell has decided to leave in the Empire's offensive players. You know, it shows that he's confident in their ability to play both ways. And they're playing a zone right now that they've set up, had pretty, you know, good results recently.
Breeze looking a little better moving the disc.
Yeah.
And Empire offensive line looking a little sluggish, which is sort of understandable. They're just getting really their legs underneath them during this point. But not a lot of coverage downfield. They've now switched back into man defense. Selwyn with it. Finds Poole.
3:30 left in the first quarter.
Poole floats that disc a little bit, and it's Deed. Empire offensive line back with it.
Yeah, that's disappointing, Charlie. That was the best point the Breeze have put together so far today. They were looking pretty comfortable with the disc and just, bad throw right at the end.
Jack Marsh finds Carnegie. Carnegie looking at cutters, can't find anybody, and he flips a disc too wide for his receiver, and there's a huck to the end zone. No defense. And number 50, TJ Ryan, catches it, but there's a whistle on the field.
The Empire defender intentionally fouled his man to draw the whistle so they wouldn't have the opportunity to throw the huck to the uncovered guy.
That's right. Unlike in USA Ultimate, there is no continuation in the AUDL, which means that if you foul, for example, on the throw and the throw is completed, it still comes back.
Yeah, with clear advantage in doing that in that situation. Instead of having to run down and play defense, now they get to set up, and 5 yards really isn't that much compared to giving up a goal.
Porter Bishop covering on the mark as the Breeze get set to pick up. And they'll have an opportunity to take this game to 4-2. Right now, the Empire lead 4-1, and they are up 4 early breaks. Here's the penalty. 10-yard penalty. In fact, it looks like they're going to get the goal, but they're going to get the disc at the goal line. Unclear exactly where that foul took place. And the Breeze looking to punch it in here. TJ Ryan with it. And Ryan finds a receiver in the back of the end zone. And the Breeze get a break back. It's 4-2. The Empire over DC.
But, like we've seen every week, you can expect these teams, they'll tighten it up as the game goes on.
Marsh taking the pull.
New York Empire 4-2 win.
4-2. Empire leading the Breeze.
In the first quarter.
Moving it up the far sideline. That's Matthew Stevens with it.
Whistle on the field.
There's a whistle.
Foul on the mark.
5-yard penalty. Hack on the mark. Stevens swings it to Santussis. Around to Canetti. Canetti finds CJ Lett. Empire moving the disc well from side to side. Canetti with it.
They're doing a good job moving it, the full width of this larger field.
Layout D opportunity there for the Breeze. Can't quite get it. Canetti flips it in the end zone to a wide open Hussein Carnegie. Scores his first goal of the game, and it's 5-2. The Empire over the Breeze.
Yeah, Jeff's he's a well-known player. Clearly one of the guys you expect to be the best in the league. Biggest impact, but it's hard to have an answer for the type of athleticism that Hussein brings to the game.
Matthew Ratty finds Jonathan Kwan, the sideline. Selwyn with it. That floats too high, but number 18, Isaac Julian, there to clean it up. Important to be able to do in this game, following the play and attacking the disc. Breeze getting close to a pretty smooth score here. Around. Kwan with it. Inside throw to Selwyn, and Selwyn tries to get cheeky with a left hand over the top backhand and doesn't connect.
Yeah, the Breeze were looking pretty solid on that point, moving the disc pretty well, and that was the first time we've seen a bounce actually go their way, which a lot of times can be the difference in a game. Kind of the luck of the draw. They were able to follow an overthrown pass.
Wong looking deep for Bryant, but can't connect. Only about 45 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Both teams going to be looking to attack quickly.
5 left in the first quarter.
Selwyn with it in the middle. Finds Julian. And a whistle.
Ball on the field.
Time ticking down here in the first quarter. Be important for DC to get one here.
Definitely.
And they put it up deep, perhaps aware of that time. And good box out by the by the Breeze player, but a big play there from Malone Brown as he gets up.
15 seconds left.
Only 15 seconds left to go. Time counting down. Empire looking to get a quick one before half. They lead 5-2, excuse me, before the beginning of the second quarter. 3 seconds to go. Into the end zone, no defenders in the area. And that's a score. It's 6-2. Matthew Lamar pulls it down for the Empire, and perfect timing there for the Empire to get one right before the end of the quarter.
Yeah, you have to expect there was some sort of miscommunication by the Breeze on that one. You know, especially given the situation, everyone on the field should be very aware that the disc is going to end up in the end zone before time runs out. So for two, not just one, but two guys to be just sitting back there basically uncovered, you know, I'm sure the Breeze coach is not going to be happy about that.
But, you know, it's still a challenge to beat that rush team, particularly with its height. We're underway here in the second quarter. Empire starting on offense, showing the importance of that score right at the end of the first quarter there. It's 6-2 Empire. And Goose Santussis with the disc. Here's CJ Ouellette on the sideline, a nice cut using the full width of the field. And again, broken coverage down the field. Will he get there? Yes, Canetti makes the grab, layout grab in the back of the end zone. Nice play from Canetti. And it's 7-2. Empire taking a commanding lead here over the DC Breeze. Yeah. See the usual suspects out there for the Empire. Bryant and Luong handling. Malone Brown taking it, and here's the pull. Roller up the middle. And Breeze can't handle that. They're going to have to bring it in, and off they go. And there's a whistle. You didn't check that disc in on the sideline. That's Captain Glenn Poole, and the disc will come back. And that gives the Empire a chance to set their defense. And they're double teaming straight away here. Poole with it. And he gets fouled.
A lot of contact there.
A lot of contact. Ref making the call, 5-yard penalty against the Empire. And if you're the Empire, you kind of have to make that ref make that call.
Yeah, you know, talking to the players before the game.
And that's tipped straight off the bat.
What a lot of them are telling us is that in practice, they're really focusing on bumping each other, which, you know, is a little counterintuitive because you're not supposed to do that during the game. But now that they're playing with referees and they have to, you know, deal with the calls that the refs make, and it's not, you know, officiated by themselves anymore, you know, there will be times where they have to play through contact, and they've certainly, you know, been working on that in practice so far.
Luong goes around to Malone Brown. Brown looking, throws a blade across the field to a wide open Bryant. A nice little break throw over the top. It's 8-2, the Empire in complete control, and the defense really looking good. Fans here enjoying the sunshine, enjoying some food here, a little drive-by cart, classic New York.
Classic.
And it's 8-2, Empire over the Breeze. And that disc is going to float safely out of bounds, and they'll get to bring the disc to the middle. That's Selwyn picking it up for the Breeze. And it's high time for the Breeze to get a smooth offensive possession with no turnovers. Not sure they've had a single one yet. Selwyn with it.
Empire coming out straight man this time.
Back to Selwyn in the middle. To the sideline. Moving it up the sideline. Empire forcing forehand. Broken there. Breeze doing a better job keeping the disc in the middle. That's John Ginsberg. Selwyn.
Yeah, you can tell they don't seem comfortable with it. It doesn't seem like they have the movement downfield for them to pick up yards. They're just, you know, basically going back and forth with their handlers, not getting a lot of the cutters involved.
Justin Solis with it. He's had a good game early. Liam Shramko, captain, finds Joe DePaula. DePaula puts it out into space, and that's easy for Hussein Carnegie. We've seen him make that D many times. He had a huge block just in that same area last week against the Rush.
Yeah, he must not have watched the feed last week, because he would have known better than to throw something like that into Hussein's territory.
Carnegie, the more he plays, has gotten better and better at baiting that throw by running a little bit behind his offensive player and encouraging the handlers to throw towards him. Yeah. Carnegie with it.
That's a tactic a lot of players use, to try to create Ds, especially layout Ds. But Carnegie's just fast enough that he's baiting them into run-on Ds instead of having to make the bid.
Ouellette hits Marsh. Marsh looking. Wide open strike cut. That's Santussis with it, finds Carnegie. Carnegie punches it in. 9-2. The Empire doing everything they need to right now. Offense looking good out there. And offense really getting it done on defense that time.
Week by week you can tell that they're a little more comfortable with their plays, with their sets, with their personnel. And this week it's translating into a huge opening to the game.
You're listening to Ultiworld's coverage of the New York Empire as they take on the DC Breeze, and right as I say it, they get a D. It's number 16, Mike Drost, moving quickly, and here comes the quick attack from the Empire D-line, and there's just no defense from the Breeze. Izzy Stevens with the score, Izzy Bryant. And it's 10-2 New York over the Breeze. This is the Breeze's first road trip. They've been at home for their first 2 games. They got a win, a double overtime win, and double game point win against Rochester last week for their first win of the season, and they got blown out by the Rush the week before that, 30-13, the biggest blowout we've seen this season in the AUDL. A little bit of a zone look here from the Empire D-line.
You can tell they're starting to dip into their depth. You can see number 9, Sean Tralders, out on the field. 35's out there. Coach getting everybody a little bit of a look now that the game's not really a game anymore.
Greg Esser with it, finds DePaula. Gets it around, back to Esser.
Solid catch by DC Breeze. Put it up, put it in the middle.
A little bit better movement for the Breeze this time. Bill Barnes with the disc on the sideline. Around to Matt Coe. Poole with it. Coe looking, swings to Barnes. Nearly blocked by the Empire, but Selwyn makes the grab out in front. Gets it around, Esser. Esser finds Barnes. Lots of underneath cutting.
Here we go, Gio.
And it's working this time for the Breeze. DePaula.
Yeah,
it's Poole.
The Empire seem to be having a little bit of trouble keeping up with their men, playing strict man-to-man defense right here.
Coe into the end zone, and whose disc is it?
Empire.
They're calling it a block for the Empire. Like, spectacular play.
Mike Drost.
Mike Drost.
Pushing the middle of the field to Dan Huebner. Huebner looking out.
Finally, a little excitement, Charlie.
Dan Huebner swings around, and a turf there, straight into the ground from one of the Empire reserves. And Barnes is in. That's a score for the Breeze. He spikes it, and it's 10-3. DC finally getting back on the board after a little run there from the Empire. Lots of action in the USA Ultimate this weekend as college teams around the country are playing in their regional tournaments. The teams here already finished regionals, so New York team and the DC teams have all played their regionals last weekend, so these teams back with their college players, and that's why we've seen some new faces for the Empire this week. And here comes the O-line. penalty. Ouellette with the disc. Marsh running around behind. A nice throw out into space for Goose Santussis.
Empire have looked very comfortable in this second quarter. They, a lot of times that will come with having a lead.
Marsh gets hand blocked, wants the call but doesn't get it. He was double teamed there and thought he must have still had the disc, and he guts right back and makes a D. It looked like a foul from him as well, but no call from the referees. Yeah. He reached right into while the disc was still in the Breeze player's hands and knocked it out, but got one back, and he puts it into the end zone, and that's a score for CJ Ouellette, and the Empire lead the Breeze 11-3.
Yeah, let's think that the games have gone fairly smoothly, and that the competition has been pretty clean on both sides. Maybe that has something to do with the fact that there are referees on the field, and people kind of, the players know that they're being watched and they have to, play within certain parameters. But you're right. We've seen it ourselves. There's certainly bumps. And there's certainly hacks that are not getting called, and it's a lot of times just the luck of the draw of where the referee is standing and what he's able to see.
That's a wide open David Zerberchin catching the disc just a few yards outside the end zone, and this is where the Breeze have really got to step up their game. A nice play, catching it at the top and finding an easy score there for TJ Ryan, and the Breeze make it 11-4.
That's maybe their best point of the game so far, Charlie.
Even though I would agree with you that the Breeze are playing better, they're in a deep hole and time is ticking away. There's, of course, plenty of time for them to get back in it, but they're going to need to string together a few scores in a row here before the half if they want to feel like they have a chance.
Yeah, it's not really that surprising to see the Empire playing more comfortably and more at game speed from the onset. Just watching warm-ups, they spent a good amount of time scrimmaging between their offense and defense.
Looking to the end zone for Seth Canetti, and it doesn't connect. Katz, one of the new faces on the Empire this week, and
He's picking up the disc right now.
I imagine we'll be hearing that name a good amount in the coming weeks.
Porter Bishop on the mark. DePaula with the disc. There's a whistle.
Looked like a lot of contact on the mark.
And they've been calling the body contact, but not the fouls on the arm, which are arguably a lot more difficult to deal with as a thrower.
Right. Yeah, more difficult to deal with as a thrower, but also, certainly more difficult to spot as an official.
Tough drop there from Owen Williams, for the Breeze, and here's Carnegie with it. Finds Marsh. Marsh waiting, looking, throws the hammer over the top, and Hussein Carnegie with a layout grab. Hammer from Jack Marsh, and that connection has been there all season. Pretty play from Carnegie. It's 12-4, the Empire over the DC Breeze.
Because Coach Bell's certainly going to be looking for someone to give his playtime to. He's a workhorse on this team, plays a lot. It's a big hole to fill, and these guys are basically auditioning now of who gets to fill it.
It's Matthew Ratty throwing the disc across. Moving quickly here. Good work from the Breeze, moving the disc. Justin Solis with it, having a strong game. Just made that nice catch on the previous possession for the Breeze. Selwyn.
2:45 left in the half.
Yeah, that's great movement by the Breeze. They didn't let the Empire zone set up. They eventually moved straight into man, and somebody got lost in translation apparently, and just wide open in the end zone.
Solis punches it in there. It's 12-5 now. The beautiful Icon Stadium setting the backdrop here for the game.
Couldn't have asked for a nicer day.
And the Empire now on offense. Canetti picking up, swinging to the middle for Santussis. Carnegie with it on the sideline to Marsh. A nice deep cut there from CJ Ouellette. And Marsh putting it out into space. And Ouellette with the big grab over his defender. a pretty play. Get some props from the Breeze defender. It's 13-5. Empire lead the Breeze.
Yeah, great. You know, they took care of the disc very well and were able to score. The offense, not so much. They were, you know, getting broken. They were turning it over. They just generally didn't seem to be clicking very well. But you know, everything seems to be smooth sailing right now.
Selwyn with the disc in the middle.
As a reminder,
It's Poole.
13-5.
Swings it back.
2:20 left in the
2 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the second quarter. Empire over the Breeze, 13-5. It's Matthew Ratty with it. Swings around to Solace. Solace hits Selwyn. Good movement again from the Breeze O-line. And they put it deep. Lu Wong in the area and makes it easy D. That was underthrown. And here comes the Empire defensive unit.
1:45 left in the half.
Yeah, that was just a throw into coverage by the Breeze. Easy D for Lou.
Moving the disc nicely here. Mike Drost with it on the sideline. Wong gets open.
1:30 left in the
Around to Matthew Lamar. Bryant cutting well for the Empire today.
Let's go vertical! Vertical!
Taylor Brooks puts it into the end zone. Not quite. Alone Brown with it just outside. And the Breeze defender poaching a little bit. And it's 14-5. Mike Drost with the score.
Yeah, just real classy.
Sublimated jerseys all the rage in Ultimate right now. Pretty much get whatever you want.
Yeah.
On a high performance athletic jersey. And here come the Breeze. Zone look from the Empire. Selwyn with it. Throws a hammer over the top. And receiver can't pick it up.
Yeah, that's exactly the throw that you know, the zone was designed to encourage, and you know, worked out in the Empire's favor that time.
With just 45 seconds to go, Matthew Lamar puts it to the end zone to Izzy Bryant, and a big block. A nice play at the last possible moment for the Breeze defender, who was about 3 steps behind Bryant, but the throw was just low enough for him to get a hand on it.
Yeah, that seemed like a great throw. It just hung a little bit at the end. You know, Bryant's so fast that he basically beat the disc down there.
And a hand block at the point of the throw. The disc will come back up to that point where it went out of bounds. With 10 seconds to go in the quarter and the first half, they're going to need to score quick. Swinging it into the middle. Bryant with it. He's going to need to make a throw to the end zone. He puts it up. Everybody coming underneath the disc, and it's blocked. That's what the DC Breeze needed to close that out. It's 14-5. The Empire lead the DC Breeze at halftime here in New York City.
Right, Charlie. You know, it is a it's an interesting and dangerous you know, situation. You know, entering half with such a substantial lead, it's really easy for a team, especially you know, with the break, to become a little complacent. You know, and possibly not come out playing as with the intensity that they need to keep the score in their favor.
Breeze looked deep quickly, and they connect there. That's Matthew Ratty with the disc, and this is where they need to put one in, get a little early momentum here at the start of the third quarter. Flip to the inside, nice throw there from Solace into the end zone. It's 14-6 week. Empire players taking a knee on the sideline here. Makes it a little bit easier for the fans to watch the game. And pull short, only to about 3/4 of the field, making the Breeze's job just that much tougher. And off we go.
Breeze coming out man again.
Marsh to Carnegie. Shady on the far side of the field, which could cause some issues with the sun as players look up into it. Canetti with it. Canetti into the middle for Santussis.
very calm right now for the Empire. You know, they're comfortable moving the disc, you know, from one sideline to the other.
Nice break throw from Santosis.
No rush to the end zone for the Empire right now.
Porter Bishop finds Carnegie in the end zone. Hussein's third score of the game, and it's 15-6. Empire offensive line making it look easy.
Has been, you know, one that they've had to earn, and you know, hopefully for the Empire they can keep it that way.
Breeze set to start their offensive possession here. Selwyn with it.
10:50 left in the quarter.
About 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. And there's a D from the Empire. Number 7, Taylor Brooks, knocking that down. Luong coming to the sideline.
Lu Wang picking up the disc, swinging out to Izzy Bryant.
Round to Izzy Bryant.
Pushing it out to Matt Lamar. Matt Lamar swinging it back.
Wong with it.
Looking into the middle of the field. Alan Brown going up.
Flips it to Alone Brown. Brown holding. Brown putting it into space for Mike Joss, who's wide open on the far side. Nobody with him right now. Gets it to Matthew Lamar. Wong in the middle.
The Empire, they just look super comfortable right now.
And he grabs it. Was he inbounds? That's the question. Breeze player's calling him out, but no, the referee says in. That's a score for the Empire. It's 16-6. They extend their lead to 10 with a break.
Because their ruling is definitive, and you know, both teams just kind of have to live with it.
The Breeze back on offense here.
It's a really nice pull by Alan Brown. Washington.
Shade getting longer and longer behind the trees at the back of the field here. As the sun moving lower in the sky. Selwyn with the disc.
Pushing up into the middle.
Finds David Zurchin. He puts it deep. Solace, who's having probably the best game of all of the players for the Breeze, and he finds Poole, who gets it right back to Solace. Nice give and go. The DC Breeze get another one.
Yeah, you know, it's a long season, Charlie, and you know, one thing that these teams are going to have to do over the course of it is figure out what kind of depth they're working with. This is a great opportunity in a game situation for the Empire to get their, you know, the guys further down on their roster some, you know, real-time play experience, and you know, sort out who they're going to be able to rely on and how deep their roster is going to be able to go for later in the season when games are more important.
Joe Santosis with the disc.
Goose picking up the disc.
Goose holding. Gets it around to CJ Ouellette. And CJ can't connect with Goose back to the middle. Here come the Breeze. Liam Schramko with the disc. Finds Owen Williams, who looks to Bill Barnes in the end zone, but no. Porter Bishop gets in between, knocks it to the ground. Another end zone, red zone turnover for the Breeze.
Yeah, and that was an that was an easy D for the Empire. Just, you know, a straight running D, just had to come out from behind the the receiver. Really not the throw that you want if you're in that situation, not in the Breeze.
Katz with the disc. Katz finds Matt Stevens, who finds Carnegie, and everybody running deep now, looking for the score. Nobody can get separation. Bishop into the middle. Nice grab there from CJ Ouellette. Ouellette holding. Flips to Hussein Carnegie. Carnegie looks off. Katz in the end zone. He swings in the middle, nearly D'd, but Ouellette with it. Poachy look from the Breeze. Back to Carnegie. Excuse me, to Katz. And Katz finds Carnegie in the end zone. Carnegie continuing to score and be an impact player on the offense. And it is 17-6.
Yeah,
Empire over the Breeze. And there's the pull from Malone Brown. Nice one. Blading softly to the close sideline here. Selwyn with the disc in the middle. Zone look here. They put it deep right away. Deep was beat. That's Jake Burzoff Cohen with the disc just outside the end zone. And this time they punch it in. That's a score for the Breeze. It's 17-8. And a nice quick score there for TJ Ryan. Not happy with that last possession. Wide open players in the middle of the field as the defensive line didn't really get an opportunity to set up that zone that they were looking to run. Canetti receives the pull. Finds Goose, who hits Matthew Stevens, who simply drops the disc. And this is a chance for the Breeze to get one of these breaks back.
Yeah, this is what the Empire don't want. You know, they need to, close this game out strong, continue to score.
Danny Denon flips to the far side to Shramko.
Breaks are the only way that the Breeze get back into this game. So, the Empire, they're going to have to clean this up a little bit.
And Solis overthrows his receiver. Some good pressure there from Matt Stevens, making the Breeze player to tack that disc a little bit closer than maybe he wanted to. Bishop picking up the disc. He'll tap it in on the cone, double team straight on the cone. Tough spot, but he throws the hammer and clears out the double team. Good throw from Bishop. Carnegie.
Yeah, that's the
Lucky
dangerous
catch.
thing about the double team, Charlie, is it means that somebody's left open somewhere. So, a lot of times there is that bailout throw available, especially to a handler.
Bishop to Katz to Bishop down the field. And a block. Nice play from John Pressimone, the Breeze. And the Breeze defensive line will get another shot.
Yeah, throwing upwind into coverage, that needed to be quite a bit further for it to
Breeze
land.
looking deep straight away. Good look there. To Shramko. Shramko dumps to Solis. Solis looking, dumps. Burzoff Cohen with it, and he flips it out into the space on the far side, but Carnegie in the area, and Hussein Carnegie with a spectacular block. And really, that's par for the course for him at this point.
Yeah, it's almost funny. It's clear that there's not the level of studying and game tape watching in professional ultimate that you see in other sports, because teams would quickly learn not to throw things into his area like that. That's basically.
Wow! A great block from Burzoff Cohen, and gets it right back. Oh, but Selwyn picks up and can't connect with Shramko. And that's a quick turnover, and it's just been plaguing the Breeze this entire game.
Yeah, they look anxious to score, and it makes sense after going down by a handful of scores early in the game. But one of the things you have to keep in mind, especially in these AUDL games, is that they're long. There's plenty of time to make up ground. So, I think that anxiousness has certainly been plaguing the Breeze so far this game and keeping them from doing what they're capable of, when they're playing a little more comfortably.
Carnegie with the turnover. Breeze back with it. Foul called, bumping on the mark. Jake Burzoff Cohen with the disc. Goose Santosis in the coverage.
Something interesting I've been noticing this game is it seems to be
Denon flips to the far side.
There's Hussein.
Again, Carnegie puts pressure on it, doesn't get the block this time, but forces both players to go up for that disc and does exactly what he needs to do as a defender, which is to try to make them make a play.
Yeah, without touching the disc, he could basically be credited with that D, because they knew who they were dealing with, and that Hussein was in the area, and even if you get a perfect jump, it's hard to beat him in the air, so it makes a receiver pretty nervous just knowing that he's around.
Coach Bell wants to talk it over with his offensive line, and they'll take a timeout here.
But yeah, you're totally right. It's becoming a little sloppy, and I'm sure that's why Coach Bell decided he needed to take that timeout to clean things up.
Action back underway here. Under 4 minutes now in the third quarter. Marsh with the disc. It's around to Carnegie, back to him.
looking, and CJ.
Marsh finds Ouellette, dumps quickly to Canetti. Canetti around to Stevens.
Cat Stevens looking down.
Stevens finds Bryant. Back to Stevens.
Cat Stevens back to Izzy.
Thought Bryant was paying attention, but Bryant had started to move upfield, and that's another turnover for Stevens. He's having a tough point here.
Yeah, he's certainly going to be happy when this one's over.
DePaula looking deep to the end zone, looking for Denon, the captain. Can't quite come down with it.
The offense.
DePaula hoping his receiver could make a play, but into coverage.
3 minutes left in the quarter.
3 minutes to go here. A lot of time burning off the clock on this point. A lot of turnovers.
Yeah, this has been a long one. Surprised we didn't see more substitutions during the timeout. But, you know, I'm sure Coach Bell wanted to see his defensive unit go out there and finish what they started.
Empire with the disc on the sideline gets bumped. Again, the body called, but the arm fouls not as much. Canetti with it to Marsh. Marsh, no mark. Puts it deep to Stevens. Stevens getting separation, and that's a score. Pretty throw from Jack Marsh. Now 18-8. Empire back to a 10-point lead.
Potentially injured on, but for the guys who have focused and worked on playing through it, it can almost be a disadvantage. You think about in different sports, guys like LeBron James. He doesn't get nearly the foul calls that he should because he just powers through them and it looks like he's unfazed. If the referees are going to continue to react to the movement of players instead of the actual calls, certainly could be something that encourages embellishment.
It'll be interesting to see the evolution of referees in the professional ultimate game, which is so young still. Glenn Poole drops it and gives the Empire a short field as they look to extend their lead to 11. Bryant with it. Greg Somerville finds Wong.
Steady movement right outside the end zone.
To Lamar. Somerville gets it back to Lamar. Dump cutting not looking so good for the Empire. Somerville looking for something. Gets it into the end zone, but that's not going to connect with the receiver as he was feeling like that stall count was getting a little bit too high for comfort.
Yeah, up until the end there, that looked like a pretty solid possession for the Empire. They did a good job, moving the disc across the field. Their real trouble came when they started, they seemed focused on moving it up the field towards the end zone, and then the forced throw that we saw result in the turnover.
And we see a double team there from the Empire. Looked like a foul on the Breeze player, but the Breeze player looking to the referee for the call and no call. And it's Empire disc. Wong with it. Hits Bryant, and is he in? No call yet from the referees, but yes, that's a score. It's 19-8. The Empire now lead by 11.
When you're winning, you have you can't quite throw caution to the wind in the same way. You still have to keep up the score, continue to at very least trade points. But I'm sure Coach Bell's going to be getting the entire squad up and down the roster some experience here. We've seen it since the second half that the lines have been opened up a little bit, and the Empire they look deep enough that it really hasn't been overly detrimental to them.
A very nice catch on the far side by the Breeze. Solace with it now.
It's a lot of yards to lose on a dump throw.
Just 20 seconds to go here in the third quarter. They have to look to the end zone. Oh! And a big block from number 9, Sean Childers, getting extension off of the ground to make that play. And the Empire defense, with 3 seconds to go on the clock, are going to have to look to the end zone, but that's not going to get there. And that's the end of the third quarter. With the score 19-8, the Empire lead the DC Breeze, and you're listening to Ultiworld's coverage of the New York Empire and the American Ultimate Disc League.
And you know, like we talked about before, they're coming into this off of a college season in game shape. It's tough to keep up with them playing man defense for an entire game.
Empire offense back on the field, score 19-8. Empire over the Breeze. Canetti finds Carnegie, and things looking smooth still. And as soon as I say that, Marsh with the drop, a little bit of a low throw from Carnegie. DePaula picks up. The Breeze looking to get something going here. DePaula holding around to the far side. Denon with it. Can't connect with his receiver downfield. Empire will come back the other way.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, or it will be interesting to see how Coach Bell handles his line selection for the rest of the game. Looks like right now we have Jack Marsh, Hussein Carnegie, and 5 guys who aren't necessarily staples of this line. 2 turnovers on the point so far.
That was Santosis with the turnover, offensive line starter. Denon with it for the Breeze. Denon hits Matt Coe. Coe looking for the dump. Doesn't find his guy.
Easy
Jack
D.
Marsh with the easy D. Andrew Schwartz with the disc. Not a normal starter for the O-line, but he makes a pretty throw there, and Jack Marsh gets low, picks it up off the ground. It's 20-8. The Empire lead the Breeze. Yeah, for the Empire, it's a challenge to go from week 1 against the worst team in the league, Rochester, and a blowout win, to week 2 against the best, potentially the best team in the league, and certainly the best team in the East in the Rush, and get blown out, and then come back up against the Breeze, who are the second worst team in the league. So, you know, how much do these games prepare you for the tougher challenges they're going to have against New Jersey and Philadelphia later in the season?
You know, you make an excellent point. It's really tough, even though you know, this game has gone fairly well. It's really tough to know where the Empire are at relative to the rest of the league at this point, because they haven't had a full game really. Every one of their games has, by the third quarter, been not close. All 3 games this year. So it'll be interesting to see how they how they adapt, how they handle pressure when situations are a little more pressing. Yeah, they have. They're going to have an interesting couple weeks on the road here, for sure.
And we'll have to see as well how they adjust to the traveling and playing on the road and playing in back-to-back games. They haven't had to do that yet. Of course, most AUDL teams, when they hit the road, do play back-to-backs. And next weekend, they play Toronto and Rochester on Saturday and Sunday. And that will be a challenge. The Breeze with the disc here, looking to punch another score in, and they do. Past the defender. That's a score for the Breeze. It's now 19-9. Excuse me, 20-9. Empire over the Breeze.
It's reasonable to think that Coach Bell might want to protect his top guys a little bit. Not put them in situations to hurt themselves.
Burzoff Cohen with a nice pull. Bryant picking up.
Looking downfield to Seth Canetti in the middle. Seth Canetti pumping it out to Hussein
See the O-line still here with most of its top players. And a huge hammer over the top from Marsh. And CJ Ouellette again comes down with a big play in the air. And it's 21-9. One of the main players for the Empire, Bucky Auerbach, is out today. He works for the Brooklyn Nets, and the Nets, of course, at home tonight against the Bulls in a big Game 7 in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, trying to fight for the chance to lose to the Miami Heat in a few days.
And Wes Cronk, a Miami Heat fan, obviously. Here we go, the Breeze looking to stay intense and focused here, and that throw wasn't on a target, but it gets cleaned up by Matthew Ratty. Selwyn with it.
Interesting look from the Empire.
Ratty puts up a hammer of his own, but defenders in the area. Bryant easily takes that out at Sky.
You know, we've talked to Coach Bell about this before. He really likes the idea of throwing a bunch of different junk looks at teams.
Alone Brown with a pretty throw to Matthew Lamar. Another nice big blade across the field to the break side where there's a lot of space on this wide field, and
yeah,
that's a play that I think the Empire should be looking to use often.
I think we've talked about this before. One of the things that's going to start separating these AUDL teams as the season progresses is how they are able to you know, augment their play style to adapt to the difference in the rule sets. Coach Bell, you know, from our conversations with him, clearly is always thinking about how he can exploit the new rules and you know, get an advantage. And you know, using that width in plays like that blade that we just saw are certainly steps in the right direction.
Be sure to stay with us after the game. We'll have Coach Bell on in the post game, and we'll also talk with an Empire player, perhaps Izzy Bryant, about how things are looking and what they're planning to do on their upcoming road trip. It's 22-9 here in New York. The Empire blowing out the Breeze, and hammer across the field. It's John Ginsberg with it. Finds Bill Barnes. And Poole punches it in to Jonathan Kwan. It's 22-10.
So they have less to think about on the field, the better. This is practice time for them, and even though it doesn't seem like it, you know, I'm sure Coach Bell understands the value of it for his team, getting these extra reps against, you know, a real competitive squad.
Absolutely, and the Empire offensive line looking to stay smooth out here. Carnegie with it. Throws around to Canetti. Lots of room. Canetti finds Porter Bishop. Bishop to Marsh. Marsh puts it up deep. Carnegie underneath that disc. People battling for position, and a nice block from the Breeze.
Great attempt by the New York Empire.
And they'll come back up the field looking to get a little break and
we have a timeout call.
Salvage something late in this game, just showing that their defensive line can get a block and work it down the field.
The weekend, they should be able to string together too. But you know, this is a different situation for most of them. You know, like we talked about earlier, the whole concept of warming up effectively so that you're starting the one game of the day at game speed is something that the teams haven't even fully grasped yet. So it'll be a learning experience for the squad, but I'm sure they're excited about it. Chance to get a little redemption against Toronto.
The Empire play Rochester next Saturday. That's a very winnable game, and a game they should win. But unfortunately for them, they have the Toronto Rush on Sunday, and that will be a tough game.
Yeah.
They're going to need to think about how do we conserve our energy on Saturday while still walking away with the win, so that we're at our best against the Rush, who are going to be the toughest competitor that they face during the regular season.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be hoping for an outcome like today, where the second half of the game is basically an extended practice for them. They don't have to worry about having their top guys play a tough game the entire way through, and hopefully at that point they're able to get their reserves in, rest their top players, and enter against the Rush fresh in practice.
Nice catch there from Taylor Brooks in the end zone.
DC Breeze 10 with 5 minutes and 7
It's 23-10 here in New York City. In early June, we'll have all 8 New York Empire home games streamed live and free on Ultiworld.com and the UX TV network. The AUDL's own online Ultimate Television Network. You can watch other live streamed games around the league and lots of video content, top 10 plays, etc. That's on uxtvnetwork.com. And Hussein Carnegie getting another huge D, and the crowd loving that. Not much else to get excited for in this game right now. It's a bit of a blowout, but big plays from Carnegie all game, and he's really a competitor. He's going to play 100% the whole game, pretty much regardless of what the score is.
Yeah, we talk about you know, possibly sitting guys like Hussein, try to keep them fresh for the upcoming road trip, but you know, the mentality that guy has, it's going to be a struggle to get him out of the game. And you know, he wants to win. He takes every point with pride, and the results speak for themselves.
Score for Sean Childers, it's 24-10.
I believe that's his first appearance on the score sheet in his Empire career. You know, it'll be interesting to see how the Empire match up against the tiers of teams that seem to be more on par with them, at least so far in the season. I'm sure they're excited about finally finding out, you know, where they're at and where they, you know, really need to go against these, you know, more competitive teams.
The Breeze coming down the field. Poole with the disc, flips it into the end zone. Out of bounds, says the referee. And defensive line set to work it down the field. We see some reserves out on the field. It'll be interesting because, of course, those guys have an incentive to really work hard and show the coach something.
Yeah.
That not getting a lot of play time right now, but these are those opportunities that you're not going to get that often, and you need to show what you got.
Yeah, you know, we saw Alan Brown just make that diving play to, you know, for the D in the end zone. It's a mentality right now. You got to, you know, make yourself noticed when you get your opportunities. Brown, he gets, you know, a good amount of play time already, but you know, every one of these guys wants to play more.
And the Breeze punch it in. It's 24-11 here in New York. There with the Empire for looking for that second spot.
Yeah, and you know, that'll be an opportunity for both teams to really utilize their coaching to its fullest. The team that, you know, wins that series, that regular season series between the Phoenix and Empire, you know, because of the way that the games are stacked week after week, will likely be the one that makes the best adjustments, not just the one that has the best games.
Carnegie puts a perfect throw to Greg Somerville in the end zone, putting another point on the board for the Empire. It's 25-11.
Other than the fact that, you know, when they click, they're good.
Absolutely. The Empire struggled last week under the pressure defense from the rush, and you know, it just absolutely makes a difference in your throwing decisions and your confidence in your throws. And they haven't had those problems with DC Breeze really lacking on serious defensive pressure in this game. Poole puts it deep. Similar throw to Carnegie's just now. Oh, and the player cannot quite make the catch in the back of the end zone. Burke Nash with a nice bid, but no score. And the Empire defense getting set to work it back up the field. About 2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
Empire picking up the disc.
And you wonder if they might just think about swinging the disc and running out the clock at this point.
Yeah, and there's, you know, really not a lot of incentive for them to do much with it. It's unclear. That was a really close grab.
Alone Brown with a nearly drops it, but saves his own play, and a nice move there. And what should have been a block gets cleaned up as Greg Somerville catches it, finds Izzy Bryant, who punches it in the end zone to Mike Drost. 26-11.
1:35 left on the clock.
The Empire up 15 points now.
They look comfortable. They're steady. They're confident. They're, you know, willing to move the disc from sideline to sideline, which is always a you know, a sign of an offense that's comfortable with the situation. So, you know, the big takeaway for me out of all of that is, you know, this is a team that plays well when they play Chile, and you know, that's something that they'll certainly want to keep in mind the next time that they come up against the Rush. You know, mentally they just can't let their you know, their style of play you know, take the Empire out of their game.
A nice throw there, but the receiver cannot quite catch up. Tries to make a play, not quite there. And Bryant with the disc now.
One minute left in the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's here the upholstery New York Empire.
Billy Katz looking for it, can't connect on the throw from Bryant.
Big by Billy Katz.
2 throws just out of reach of their receivers for each team.
45 seconds left in the game. DC disc.
45 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter. The score 26-11. Empire have had this one locked up since really halftime. This is number 17, Owen Williams with the disc.
30 seconds left in the game, ladies and gentlemen.
DePaula cleans that one up.
DC disc working it up the sideline.
Flips it up the sideline. Billy Katz in coverage.
Big turnover by the DC Breeze.
Katz with it.
20 seconds left in the quarter.
Flips it around to Bryant.
Izzy's got the disc in the middle of the field with 15 seconds left in the quarter. 10, 9,
10 seconds to go.
7, 6.
Yeah, time
just
to get
gonna
some guys
hold?
into the end zone.
They are.
Yeah,
they're not going to look to the end zone. That's the classy move.
It's a classy move.
26-11.
Here's our special guest.
That's your final score here in New York. The Empire moved to 2-1. The Breeze to 1-2, and the Empire, for now, sitting alone as in 2nd place in the Eastern Division.